Ben, the Giants are on pace to win 117 games. I'm thinking that might be a little unsustainable.
I mean, probably. It's probably unsustainable. I will note that that's how many games the Dodgers were supposed to win.
That was my point, actually, was that, yes, exactly. People were talking about the Dodgers winning 117 games, so why couldn't it be the Giants?
I think there's a lot of reasons why it couldn't be the Giants, Matthew. If you want to have that conversation, I'm willing to have it. I think you know that.
We're 10%. We're past 10% of the season.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good chunk of time to determine that they're on pace for something.
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, you can always say that. It's always fun to say they're on pace for something, except like in the last month, right? Like then it's just like, will they get there or not? But yeah, so sure, hit me.
Okay.
What are they on pace for?
They're on pace to win 117 games, which actually their pace is faster than when they won 107 in 2021.
Wow. Okay, so what you're saying is they're going to win more than 107 games.
Yeah, they're going to win 117 games.
Right. See, I have a totally different way of looking at this.
Of course you do.
Yeah, it's kind of on brand, actually. You know, a few episodes ago, we couldn't even remember what we called it when the Giants were 2 games under 500 last year.
I know, because I was just like, that's not going to happen ever again.
Yeah. We called it homeostasis, Matthew.
We did.
And yes. I thought, what happens if the Giants snap back to homeostasis? Right? Not
if they snap back to playing 2 games under 500?
Yeah, if they did that, if they snapped back to 2 games under 500, what would their final record be?
Not 117 wins.
No, it wouldn't be. You know how many it would be?
No.
84, which is exactly the number of wins I predicted that they would have this year.
Okay. That's convenient for you.
It is very convenient for me, but I don't like that. I don't feel good about that. I need them to keep winning so that they get off that, because I don't like that, because that feels too too on point, you know?
Well, I think if they went 500 for the rest of the season, I think they'd win like 88 wins right now. They'd be at 87 or 88. And I predicted 89.
Right.
So we're almost to my prediction.
Well, actually, if they won what I predict, if they get back to an 84 win percentage, like if that was the winning percentage for the full year, and they instead did that from now until the end of the season, I think they would win 88 games. That is correct. So if they got the 84 win total, so maybe we should compromise. Maybe we should just say that's what they're going to do.
Okay. Well, you know where this is a good news is that I went back and looked at the last 10 full seasons. The third wild card averaged 85 and a half wins. So I feel good about this. I mean, history is on our side, Ben.
I don't think that's going to happen this year. The stupid D-bags are 2 games behind the Giants at 11-7.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't want to listen to you anymore. You know why, Bob? Tell them why. What are the vibes like, Bob? Hit it.
The Giants are rolling. The vibes are flowing. It's time for Giant Cocktails. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to another episode of Giant Cocktails. Ben, this is episode 284. Did you know that Giants legend Juan Marichal had a career ERA with the Giants of 2.84?
I did know that. It's tattooed to the bottom of my right foot.
I knew that about you. I knew that.
Yeah.
It's not the left foot where it would really high up, raise really high up so that people could see it?
No, I put it on the bottom of my right foot so people wouldn't see it whenever I did my Juan Marichal windup.
Okay.
Because I was kind of embarrassed by it.
All right, so only you know it's there.
That's right.
And now all of our listeners.
I didn't get brave with the tattoos until I got Fire Farhan tattooed to my neck.
You got tattoos a lot of places, don't you?
Yeah, and only one of them in a place that people can see.
Well, that's smart of you. I did the same strategy as well.
Yeah, definitely only one also where anybody would ever want to see. Although, there probably are some weirdos out there who do want to see the bottom of my foot.
Yeah, you could like totally sign up for like websites where people would pay to do that.
Yeah. Well, you know what the weird thing is, Matthew? We could all sign up to make money doing that because that's how many weird people there are on the planet.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Oh. Yes, Bob, thank you for rescuing us.
It's probably a good idea.
Perfect timing, buddy. Perfect timing.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Oh, what am I drinking? I am drinking a cocktail called the Rusty Banana. I know, you were thinking we were supposed to get off this kind of topic by switching to cocktails, didn't you? But no, that's what it's called. But you're going to have to find out why it's called that at the end of the show.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking a cocktail I'm calling Bailey Sour. Why is it called the Bailey Sour? Well, you'll find out at the end of the episode.
Because it's not getting any hits and it's dropping balls? Is that why it's called Bailey Sour?
No, that's not why it's called Bailey Sour.
Oh.
Okay.
It's just a random question. I have no reason to ask it that way.
Jeez, man. How many drinks have you had already?
Well, we're starting late, dude. So one.
That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Folks, you are going to be the beneficiary of us starting late. Ben was a cocktail in when we even started. All right. All right. Well, today, folks, it's Wednesday, April 16th, also known as Randy Johnson Wrong Hat Day.
Yeah, the only time Randy Johnson ever wore a Giants hat, as far as my memory goes.
You wish. Yeah, but the first time he wore a Giants hat, yes, there was a big brawl in the middle of the field. Hats were falling on the ground. Randy Johnson bends down to pick up a hat and put it on his head, and he does it, and it's a Giants hat. And then he's like, wait, this doesn't fit right. This doesn't fit right. And he finally turns it off and looks and realizes it's not his hat.
And then he just kind of throws it down. And then he looks around.
How many times have you seen that video? I've seen it countless times.
A lot. They showed it today. I mean, it's practically a national holiday in Giants Nation.
It is. I took the day off.
Oh. Well, me too.
It's a little different for me, but okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. Well, it's always Randy Johnson Hat Day for Ben.
That's right. That's why I watch that video every day.
All right. Well, we're 3 games into a 4-game Phillies set. The Giants are 2-1 so far in the first 3 games to bring our overall record to 13-5. As I mentioned in the intro, that is better than our 2021 year where we won 107 games. So what are we talking about today, Ben? Well, I guess we should talk about the Phillies and how the Giants have shown up in the first 3 games. Some good, some not so good. We'll get into that. And then, folks, Ben and I had a hard time coming up with a second segment that was like long enough to be a segment, and we had all these little things. And so we're gonna bring back the lightning round because we haven't done that in 2025. So, folks, lightning round time for segment 2. But first, Ben, This team is confusing.
What's confusing?
The Giants are 5th in runs scored.
Yeah.
In the major leagues.
That's good. Yeah. They're 5th in runs scored.
They're 11 runs today, man. That's just, that's probably 5th in runs scored.
That probably moves them better than 5th, I would imagine, by the end of the day.
Probably. And but then you look at the underlying, and they're 19th in batting average, 20th in on-base percentage, 10th in slugging, 10th in OPS, 8th in hitting with runners in scoring position. So my question to you is, how are they 5th in runs scored? It's some kind of magic, isn't it? It's like voodoo.
This feels like I feel like you did your research wrong. I think you need to double check these numbers. Who pulled these numbers?
You did.
Oh, see, well, that's the answer right there. It says I clearly pulled the wrong numbers. That doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't math, Matthew. The math doesn't math. They can't be 5th in runs and then not be better than 5th in all of the underlying stats.
Correct. That is what I'm saying. How is that possible?
Well, Matthew, I did pull these numbers because it was confounding me. I was like, how is this possible? And it was actually the Phillies announcers who clued me in, because I was watching Monday's game. You know how I like to do late at night. I turn on the other team's broadcast to watch the Giants kick their butts.
Because they're expecting something else, and then they're like, "Oh, this team's pretty good."
Yeah, it's I'm a simple man with simple pleasures, and watching other announcers get upset. And I got to tell you, the Phillies are pretty close to being Midwest announcers, right? They're not like the Yankees announcers. Like when the Yankees, I don't know what the main guy is for the Yankees, his name is, but when he calls a home run for the opposing team, it's like. You might like, oh, he's calling it. Oh, is that a Yankee hitting a home run? And like, no, it's not. It's not how the Phillies are.
No, they've got a home run call.
It's a real home run call. And I got to tell you, when Tyler Fitzgerald hit his home run on Monday, I watched that multiple times. I watched it multiple times.
Could you hear the disappointment in their voice?
I could hear the disappointment in his voice. And what was nice is he gets real quiet, so you can hear all the boos and moans and groans from the Phillies fans, who are very vocal. They talk about cynics, Matthew. I should be a Phillies baseball broadcaster, podcaster, because they eat that cynicism up.
Well, they booed Santa Claus, so, they're going to be...
That's true. I don't know what somebody like you would do there. Just positivity. They just do not want it. But anyway, the point is, Matthew, the reason that they do this, the reason that the Giants are scoring 5 runs is because every time they get a man on base, the next dude hits a double or a triple or a home run. In fact, the Giants are number 1 in baseball with... Their slugging percentage with runners in scoring position is number 1, and their slugging with runners on base is 6th. So whenever the Giants get a dude on base, the next guy hits a double or a triple or a home run. And so they're not just scoring the guy on second or third, they're also scoring the guy on first. And when it's Jung-Hoo Lee, that's an easy thing to do. So yeah, that's how they're doing it. They're not just getting the hits when guys are on base, they're getting big hits when guys are on base.
Okay. Well, that will be interesting to see if that is sustainable. I feel like it's not.
I feel like if they can control when they get the big hits, they should do it all the time. That would be my vote. So I'm guessing this is not, Okay.
All right. So we're going to have to maybe rise in some of those categories in order to keep this run scoring thing going.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or our starting pitchers are just going to have to pitch longer than 5 innings.
Okay. All right.
Anybody, please.
Well, before we get to that, I got a question for you. And normally I would try and slide in a Wilmer Flores as leading the National League in RBIs right about now, but I'm not going to do that.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm not going to mention that he's leading the National League in RBIs with 23, with 2 more today.
Right.
But
you would never do that.
I would never do that. And so I just want to know, I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about someone that you is near and dear to your heart.
Okay.
So you have the floor. You have the floor.
I know we talked about this in our last episode, and I watched some performances in this series, and I've come to the conclusion, Matthew. I know who Hayden Birdsong should replace in the rotation.
Oh, okay. Because if you listen to Monday's episode, we had some candidates, but now you know. Now you know who.
I've decided. Here's what it is.
Okay.
I don't care. Just replace someone. For God's sake.
So you're saying anyone? Someone.
Anyone.
Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah. No, I meant one of the 3. Hicks, Ray, or Verlander. I don't care.
Yeah. I think the Giants just got to grow some cojones and actually make the change. Because everybody knows that Birdsong should be in the rotation.
That's right. He should be. And I know he gave up that home run, but I watched that pitch over and over again, and I was like, man, that was a slider on the inside of the strike zone.
Sometimes you got to just tip your hat to the hitter, man.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just got to accept the fact that a man you really don't like is good at baseball.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think we should get going with the Phillies series. Let's start with game 1. Roop!
Sucked.
I was hoping you wouldn't point that out. He was the winning pitcher, though.
No, I'm being mean, but he did suck.
He struggled. He struggled, but then he came back and he buckled down, and frankly, he put in some innings that the Giants desperately needed.
They desperately needed it, right? Yeah, like he was on the verge of getting yanked. That's happened a few times recently,
right?
Where a Giants pitcher has gone under the 30 plus pitches in an inning, which apparently is now their limit. Right? I haven't heard this ever said for the Giants, but they were just like, now Bob Melvin is like, no, we can't. Is this a JP Martinez thing? I don't know. But it's like, oh, once he gets past 30 pitches, we got to get him out of there. It's like 35 is the limit. If he gets to 40, we screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Roop was dangerously close to getting there. But you know what was interesting about his start, Matthew?
What's that?
The only pitch he could control was his best pitch. Like
curveball. Yes.
Yeah. And he started throwing it he just started dicing him up with the curveball. And then he started to mix in the cutter just to keep them honest. But it really wasn't about throwing strikes with the cutter. It was just to be like, I might throw it.
Yeah. You got to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got to be ready for it. And he just leaned heavily on the curveball. And I think his cutter and other pitches did get a little bit better as they went along, but it was never great.
Well,
but the curve was so good.
Well, it's because it's one of the best pitches in baseball. I mean, that's how good it is.
Yeah, and I guess that showed because he was basically pitching on one pitch.
Well, and the thing that I mean, this showed up again today. Well, not today, but I mean, what has been showing up is the Giants' ability to score runs when they're behind, after they're behind. I never felt like we were out of this game.
No, and it's because because here's the thing: the attacks come so fast, and the one thing that they are I was just about to say they're good at getting on base, but they're not, Matthew. They're not good at getting on base. We just talked about that. But the thing is, the sun shines on every dog's butt at least once a day. You know what I mean? So guys do get on base, and then as soon as they get on base, boom, double. Boom, home run.
Yeah.
When Tyler Fitzgerald hit that 3-run bomb in the top of the second, I knew it was coming. I just knew.
You felt it,
huh? Yeah, what was happening? What's happening to me, I thought. And then, but also Javi Lopez, he kind of just willed it into existence. He was just like, yeah, Fitzgerald's going to hit a home run here. He didn't say it quite like that, but he was like, he should. He could. He might.
And he did.
And then he did, and then Fitzgerald did, and Fleming was like, "That Javi Lopez did that," and I was kind of like, "Yeah, Javi Lopez did do that, or maybe I did that, or maybe me and Javi did it together."
I think you guys were both channeling that energy, and it happened. Yeah,
that's right. And it was just because and this is for a guy Tyler who's been struggling for most of the season, right? Kind of seemed like he was almost in the doghouse in that first week and a half.
Yeah,
but then he started to wake up in New York. And now, the Phillies can't wait for him to leave. And so, yeah, it was, he had an amazing day. He was a single short of the cycle.
Well, after that episode, Grant Brisbee in The Athletic wrote an article about it. And I thought it was he said that early season numbers can be misleading because going into that game, he was basically Johnny LeMaster. And exiting the game, he was a Hall of Famer. That's how much his OPS rose in one game. Right. And so I think that just kind of speaks to the fact that sometimes we're people are clamoring for Fitzgerald to be benched and all that. And it's too early to do those kind of moves. You got to let the season play out.
It is too early. Folks, as I said in last episode, it is too early. It is still early until it is game 28.
Okay. Well, we're not there yet.
That's right. Because 162 divided by 27, by the way, is 6.
Okay. So 1/6 of the season, you're saying?
1/6 of the season. Yeah, that's basically a month.
A month. Okay. Well, and then Willie Adames hit his first home run as a Giant in that game.
Yep.
So I think we need to kind of recognize that maybe Willie's going to start working his way back up into the hitter that we expect him to be.
You know what's weird, Matthew? He has not gotten off to a good start.
No, he has not.
But he's had his moments. Right? And in the home opener, he played questionable defense. I don't want to say it's bad, but it wasn't good. Right? It's not like he snagged all those hard hit balls.
Right.
But then he had the walk-off, right? So he rose to the moment. But here's the thing, I'm not worried about it. I'm not upset. And I think part of that has to do with 13 wins.
Yeah, winning will kind of cure a lot of things. Won't it?
Yeah, but I also feel like it's just his vibe, the vibe that he has that just makes you feel like he's changing the team, even without hitting.
Oh yeah, I mean he's one of those guys. He's a leader. He's a leader of men, and I think that he has brought a vibe to that clubhouse that you can't quantify. So
Right.
I think that's where we're at with him. And he's got the track record. He's going to hit.
Right. Well, we did find out one important thing, too, with that home run, because this was important. We needed to know. Who spit shines the helmet when Willy Adames hits the home run?
Who does?
It was Yaz. I think that's because Yaz was on base because, Yaz got promoted to lead off. And I believe he was on base when that home run was hit.
No, I don't think so.
Entirely
I think
sure.
it was a solo.
Was it a solo?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then definitively it must be Yaz.
Okay.
Yaz is the one who spit shines Willy Adames' helmet.
I like it. I like
Willie can't spit shine his own helmet. Although that would be pretty cool to see him do that. Right?
Yep.
He gets there and then he pops it off his own head.
Yes, and spit shines it and puts it
and
away.
Then
yes.
and then runs down the thing. Yeah. That would be pretty funny. But no, it's Yaz, and so yeah.
All right. Well, so game 2 though. Game 2, not so good.
Listen, I don't. Can we just? I don't want to.
Well, I thought you might want to pour on Justin Verlander here.
I already said it. I said it, dude. I said it when we talked about Birdsong. Like, I don't care who you replace. Just replace one of these fools.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth, we were talking about Verlander and his stuff, and he was great and all that, and bad luck and all that. He pitched 5 and 2/3 innings, which was probably 2/3 of an inning too long.
I agree.
And and only 1 strikeout. And so I just, that was not
Matthew,
what I was hoping to see.
It's got bad luck. No, it's bad luck. The peripherals are good. No, man. I've been looking at the weenus.
The peripherals were not good in this start, and the weenus was wrong.
Really? Okay, really?
I think so.
So 1 strikeout was not good? Is that what you're saying? In 104 pitches or whatever it was?
I'm saying that's not good.
So you're saying is 4 earned runs on 8 hits, and okay, there was some griping about Elliot Ramos's route to that one.
Yeah,
I think it was a double.
Yeah,
that a lot of people talked about a little too much, quite frankly, including Verlander. And I'm not trying to make a thing. I'm not trying to make a stink. But somebody asked Verlander a question about it, and what I wished he had said was, "Not an issue. Not worried about it." Instead, he kind of said, well, we're all trying to do the best that we can. And it's kind of like, and then he kind of like started and stopped a lot when he answered that question. And I was like,
yeah, he was blaming him.
Dude.
Yeah.
So what about them 7 other hits? What about them 7 other hits and those 3 walks? What about that?
Yeah.
So, look what you made me do. You made me talk about it. Like,
because I knew you wanted to talk about it. All right, but then enough about that. Let's not talk about the loss. I don't want to talk about the loss. Let's talk about today.
Ooh, let's talk about today.
Mm-hmm. So the Giants waste no time in the first inning. Just jump out to a big old 4-run lead.
The Phillies got some pitching problems, Matthew. Like, I was looking into the numbers on Nola and on Taijuan Walker.
Mm-hmm.
They should be concerned about their starting pitching.
I've been looking at a lot of other teams. We bitch about our starting pitching, but we should probably be thankful for what we got, because there are a lot of teams out there that are like, they got 3 starters and then they're wishing for 2 more, right. So right. I bet you're right.
Meanwhile, our best starter is pitching in the 8th inning in a game in blowouts.
That's right. But what did frustrate me today was just Robbie Ray's inability to come into a game, he gets a 4-run lead right off the bat, and then he can't throw strikes.
Yep.
Ben, I'm not giving him my gift cards.
Oh, you're taking the Did you take your face off his face off?
Already gone. Your face is front and center on my laptop right now.
Okay, well, that's how it should be anyway. Like, nobody throws more strikes than me.
But I feel like the Giants, maybe they need to up the gift card game, because Robbie Ray's clearly not throwing strikes like he was in spring training.
He looked like he wasn't ready. That's what it looked like to me. And I know it's cold and it's uncomfortable there, but that looked like a guy who needed another 30 minutes warming up.
Yeah.
Like, he just it wasn't so much like, I remember it was like my wife and I were watching the game together, and I was like, it doesn't just look like he can't throw strikes. It's not like he's missing the zone. It's like he doesn't even know how to get the ball into Patrick Bailey's general area. Like, that's how bad he looked. Nothing was working. And it was like, is it even going to reach the plate? You know, it's going to bounce in the dirt or or is Patrick Bailey going to have to stand up and run to catch it? Like, that's how bad it was. And it just felt like he wasn't warmed up. And it was so frustrating. So frustrating after you jump out to a 4-run lead to have your starting pitcher come out and lay an egg like that.
Well, and not just lay an egg. We're at a stretch with all these games in a row that we need our starters to go 5, 6, God forbid, 7 innings. And he can't even go more than 4.
Yep.
5 walks in 4 innings. And you can point to the 8 strikeouts as, okay, yeah, that's impressive in 4 innings.
Well, that was part of the problem,
not when you
dude.
pair them with 5 walks. Yeah, and just, pitch to contact maybe. Get a few ground balls. Let's get some quick outs. It just not a good outing by Robbie Ray. And he's very fortunate that the Giants bailed him out.
Yeah, no longer a dark horse Cy Young candidate.
No, I was actually lamenting that today. I was like, man, I was really wrong on that one.
Well, in his next start, he'll be, I believe, at home. But, okay, before, I know we got to jump onto the lightning round, and we're running out of time, and Bob's all anxious. There's one Giant that I've been really rude and mean to.
Oh.
And I feel like because I've been so mean and rude to him, I need to call it out when he does a good job.
Okay. I admire that about you. Who are you wanting calling out?
Lou Trevino. Lou Trevino, who I really feel like is there because Bob Melvin knows him, and basically has Sean Jelly's job. Like, I believe that, and he hasn't had the most impressive outings at all.
No,
until today.
Yeah, I was going to say yes. Today. He
was the best Giant out of the bullpen today, and he got the win, and he absolutely deserved it. He pitched really, really well. So I want to call that out. Hats off to Lou Trevino. If you keep doing more of those, you might actually earn that job that you stole.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, at least he didn't contribute to the little-known statistic of runs walked in.
That's right. There were I think there were 3 runs walked in today, Matthew.
Just
including one by Robbie Ray. But 2 by the Phillies. So, I guess it's kind of like turnovers in football, right? Like, whoever wins the walked-in runs battle is probably going to win the game.
Yeah. That's fair.
And the Giants won that battle today.
It's time for a lightning round.
Whoa. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah,
thanks for keeping us
round.
All right, lightning round. Do you remember how to do this, Ben? We answer quickly.
We answer quickly. I can't. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 at this.
Okay, all right, me too.
I mean, I know how it works, but it's really just execution.
Okay, we're already getting off to a bad start.
I know, right? Look, it's not your fault. You asked me.
All right.
Okay.
Ben?
I was going to say you asked me a question, but that's the whole point of a lightning round.
All right, here we go.
Okay, are you doing them all and I'm answering them all? Maybe this is the mistake.
We can trade off.
Okay, all right.
How about you go first then?
Okay, I'm asking you the question. Okay, Matthew.
Yes.
How would you rate our starting pitching performance at the beginning of this 17 stretch without an off day?
Poor. Next.
It has been poor. It has been poor, hasn't it? The best thing that happened to the Giants is that they got a rain-shortened game.
Yes, exactly. This is not what they needed in a 17-game stretch to have your starters not even getting 5 on average. This is not what we need. And so, not good. Not good. And no. I fear that this could catch up to us at some point, although Bob Melvin has done a really good job this last couple of games of kind of flipping and flopping the bullpen. So
has he?
Well, at least he hasn't used Randy Rodriguez every week. So that's my next question to you, Ben. Every game. Okay. Randy Rodriguez, is he being overused?
Yes.
Okay, next question.
He's pitched 4 times in the last 6 games. 7 games because he didn't pitch today. But yes. And this is Camilo Doval's fault. Like it's Camilo Doval's fault. Okay, Camilo has had 2 really good outings in a row on this road trip, so I do want to mention that. So hopefully they can start putting him back in high leverage situations. But Randy Rodriguez is being overused, absolutely.
Okay. But, between he hasn't pitched the most innings out of any of the bullpen. We've got Camilo Doval, Randy Rodriguez, and Tyler Rogers have all appeared in 9 games so far. Okay. And Tyler Rogers has pitched in 9 innings. Camilo 8 1/3 and Randy Rodriguez 8 2/3. So I feel like they just keep kind of winding those guys in, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's how it'll go, right? I mean, just hot and cold streaks as well, because that happens to everybody. So maybe Camilo gets hot and he starts going into those situations.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah. Oh, next question. Matthew. Is Buster Posey too nice? What?
Sacrilege.
You heard me. You heard
cynic.
me.
You cynic. You son of a bitch.
I've already
How
made
dare
an
you?
appointment with my tattoo artist.
No.
Yes, I have.
No, you just
Don't
got the
think I
neck cleaned
haven't.
up. You just got the neck cleaned up, Ben.
Yes, that's right. I got it lasered. It's that's right. It's clean. It's too clean. It's too clean. So
The answer is maybe Buster Posey is too nice. Because only for the Hayden Birdsong situation is where I'm going with this. Because I think the old regime would have made a move by now, and we haven't done that yet. And it's easy to say because they're 13-5 or whatever they are now. But I still feel like you don't have your best players in the right position, and we haven't done that. And I feel that's because Buster's like, hey man, we take care of our players.
Buster. The sharks are in the water. The sharks are in the water, and I'm about to turn the lasers on.
Ooh, lasers. Ooh.
Yeah, the sharks with lasers on them. Zzz, zzz. All right, lightning round. Matthew, ask me the next question.
Okay, Ben, what do you is Tyler Fitzgerald going to continue his recent streak?
No.
Why not?
Well, because it's cyclical, Matthew. It's just like Camilo Doval and Randy Rodriguez. He's going to be hot. He's going to be cold. He's going to hit home runs in 5 straight games, and then he's not going to do anything for like a long period of time, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, look at the BABIP, the BABIP, the BABIP," No. But here's the thing: with Tyler, you just enjoy it when it's happening, unless you're a Phillies fan, and then you enjoy the torture that the Phillies fans are experiencing.
Well, and also he's the 9th hitter in the lineup. Okay, it's you take what you get from that, and I feel like he's done enough. Well, okay. and then his defense, Ben. Today he had a great catch.
He did. That was amazing. Jung-Hoo Lee was like the look on Jung-Hoo Lee's face as he caught the ball was like, wow!
Whoa! Like he had a front row seat there, and he was impressed.
I can't believe you caught that.
So I think Tyler is the right guy. I do. And I think that he's going to continue to have. I still stand firm to my preseason prediction that he'll be a top 5 second baseman by the end of the year.
I think he's going to be like, I'm going to stand by my thing, which is he's still going to be he's going to be slightly below average, which is going to be good enough because, folks, there's always going to be people who are below average. You can never have. That's the way average works.
No, but those below average people could be on other teams. You got the Rockies. Come on, man. They counteract somebody.
Okay, you're right.
Probably the Dodgers, but that's
yeah, they are counteracting the Dodgers. But we should probably talk about the Dodgers sometime in the future. But the reason the Dodgers have all this great hitting, they've sacrificed defense, Matthew.
They sure have, and that's coming back to bite them a little bit.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
It is. And also, they don't know how to keep starting pitchers healthy.
Yeah, well, they signed Blake Snell.
Suck it, Dodgers. And Michael Conforto. How dumb are they? Anyway. All right, Matthew.
Yes.
Last lightning round question.
Okay.
Have you seen anyone from the bench recently? Like, do the Giants not have a bench anymore? I'm really worried. Did they lose Matos, Huff, and Koss in New York? Like, did they go to FAO Schwartz and they just got stuck in the Lego section and like nobody has seen them since? Because that has happened to me. That has happened to me.
That's true. That is true. We didn't see for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was drinking milk today. And on the carton, there was a picture of Luis Matos. So nobody knows where he is.
Yeah, of the three, he is the most important.
But the reason we haven't seen him is because Yaz is. Would you take Yaz out of the lineup right now?
No. No, I would not. I mean, Yaz is hitting against all comers right now. Like Yaz is fighting. Matthew, it's like all 36-year-olds. I feel good about myself because I feel like in life I'm equivalent to a 36-year-old baseball player.
Okay, all right.
So I'm like, oh man, I can like finally figure it out and put it all together and be an everyday player now. It's just the man who hasn't had a job in 2 years.
But you've made that work, so that's good. That's impressive.
That's true. It has its limits, I will tell you that.
Frankly though, I don't want to see Huff. So I'm okay.
You don't want to see Huff? Why? Patrick Bailey's dropping balls and not hitting.
Well, he's hitting better than Huff, and dropping balls. Okay, whatever. I mean, that's not. I'm not gonna quibble on.
You're not gonna quibble on that. Yeah.
No, because in the game before he struck out Aaron Judge all by himself.
That's true. That was a series ago, but sure, yes, I agree. That it really doesn't matter who the backup catcher is, except for the fact that Patrick Bailey cannot possibly play every day. But I think the issue with Huff is just that he plays like once every 4 days, 5 days, and he's only had 4 plate appearances in the last week because that's just the way it works out sometimes when you run the stats.
That is okay. But here's a question for you: would you rather have Christian Koss or Brett Wisely?
Well, if Brett Wisely plays as much as Christian Koss, I really don't care.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
That's honestly, fair. You know what? I don't care because you know what? I haven't missed Christian Koss. I was just looking at the numbers today, and I was like, wow, none of these guys have played recently, and I they haven't needed it.
And the only guy that's been playing regularly from the bench is Casey Schmidt. And has played a pretty serviceable first base, I might add.
Oh man, he's getting better. He's getting better because he's a gifted defender. And you know what? The guy can hit for power. Can we get him his torpedo bat already?
Right.
Because I feel like if he had his torpedo bat, the Giants would have won that game. Because he would have hit that ball 4 feet further, and it would be a home run.
Yeah, fair. We need a torpedo bat. I do remember, like in the beginning, I think it was the opening series or one of the first games where he played first base, where he got tangled up in his own feet as he was trying to like put a foot on the bag, like he didn't really know like where to stretch. But that's getting better. He's getting better. But I also feel like if he can do this like without having played first base much, why can't Bryce Eldridge? Why was Bryce Eldridge now like, oh, we need to teach him first base for a whole 2 years?
Bryce Eldridge is 17 feet tall.
Oh, so you think that just because he's tall, that will be a problem?
Yeah, you know how those tall people are.
Yeah, they're dorks.
They die sooner than everybody else. The rain hits them first. They're bumping their heads against door frames.
Everybody asks them to pick things off the top shelf for them.
They can't. That's the only thing they're good at. And they can't like fit in a car or an airplane. They
have to go to a special store to buy clothes.
Yeah. Folks, you might be able to glean from this is that Ben is very short.
Matthew's very average.
And Matthew is, Matthew is average. I'm like Jose Altuve tall. And Jose Altuve is lying about his height. So
that's how tall I am. I'd line Ben up next to Altuve any day, for sure.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like when Jose Altuve is good at baseball, I'm like, damn it, there goes my excuse. Now I just suck. Now I just suck.
All right. Well, I think we actually conquered that lightning round, Ben.
We did it.
We did it.
Woo-hoo.
All right. So I think we should maybe look to our next opponents. And in this one, because of a 4-game series, we have to finish the Phillies.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Before we attack the Angels.
Before we attack the Angels.
I was trying to find some alliteration there. It was, and finish the Phillies. And do you like how I spelled that in the show notes?
I do. Folks, he did it. He did the alliteration. He spelled it the right way. Matthew, Mike Trout seems like he might be Mike Trout again. Well, he's a little less bat for average, but he's hitting home runs.
So is the entire Angels team. They are second in the majors in home runs behind the Yankees, and but they're 9-7. They started out 4-2 and have been 500 since. But those home runs, I think we need to. Luckily the Giants have tend to limit guys from hitting the ball over the fence.
That's true.
And so I'm hoping that our matchup will actually be favorable against the Angels, because while they are third in the league in home runs, Ben, they are 27th in ERA.
This feels like a series the Giants should easily win, Matthew. But they will be in the last city of a 3-city road trip after a 3,000-mile plane flight. And get this, the Phillies game is at 4 p.m. local time.
Really? They didn't do it earlier?
No, it's a 4 p.m. local time game. It's 1 o'clock our time.
That's lame. That is lame. You think they would do a 1 o'clock game and get them out of there early, but
I know they're just doing it at the same exact time that the Giants that West Coast teams would do it. That's what they've decided to do. I think a lot of the teams have decided to do it this way. So they're going to finish around 7 p.m. and they're going to get on an airplane around 10 p.m. and they're going to fly 5 hours and then lose 3 hours. It's going to be miserable. They're going to get to LA by
no, they're going to gain 3 hours.
Oh, they're going to gain 3 hours. That's right. That's great, because they're flying that way. So at least they do that. But at least the Angels game is at 7. So but I think that illustrates how Thursday's kind of an important game then in Philadelphia, right? You win that, takes a little bit of pressure because you want to do the road trip at 500 at the very least, right? Well, yes. And I think you want to beat the Phillies. Nobody's beaten the Phillies at home since July of last year.
Oh,
also,
then you definitely want to beat the Phillies.
If you beat the Phillies tomorrow, Matthew, that means the Giants will have beaten the Phillies more than any other team in baseball.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Jordan Hicks, we need you to pitch into the 6th inning. How about that?
Yeah. Jordan Hicks pitching into the 6th inning. Don't get crazy.
I know.
Don't get crazy.
That's crazy talk.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Hayden Birdsong, come in the 5th and pitch until the 9th.
I think Hayden just pitched. I don't know. They need to let Hayden not pitch for a few days and then just slot Hayden in. Surprise. Just tell everybody except Logan they're getting pushed back a day.
Yeah.
Just put the fear of losing your spot in the rotation into one Justin Verlander and one Robbie Ray. I don't care how many Cy Youngs you got. What have you done for me lately?
All right. Well, so we'll see. Thursday's game could be a big a turning point because to keep this momentum going, you want to take 3 out of 4 for sure, and then it takes a little pressure off of that Friday game of having to come back and rebound on Friday after going from the East Coast. So we'll see how it all turns out, but we will talk about it on Sunday.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, it is.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, I'm drinking the Bailey Sour. And a little quick backstory on the Bailey Sour. My partner has a ridiculously high amount of those little 1.5 ounce bottles of Fireball whiskey. And they're stored away. It's not like she was drinking them all the time, but they're there. And I was like, we got to do something with all these little bottles of Fireball. So I created a cocktail that I'm calling the Bailey Sour, because it just seems to me that Patrick Bailey would be the type of person that would just thrive on Fireball whiskey. He's just drinking that in his hotel room at night. He's probably got the other Costco container of all the little Fireball whiskeys.
God bless America, cacao.
The cacao. And so he's drinking. So anyway, no, forget about Christian, or forget about Patrick. So what's in a Bailey Sour? It's got 1.5 ounces of said Fireball whiskey, 1/2 ounce of bourbon. Let's go with a full ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of cinnamon simple syrup, and 1 dash of orange bitters. If you want to get fancy, you can do an optional egg white. Okay. If you're using an egg white, you're going to take all those ingredients without ice and give it a good shake for, 5 to 10 seconds. And then you're going to add ice and shake it for another 10 seconds. And you're going to double strain it into a chilled coupe glass. And you're going to garnish it with a cinnamon stick. And you get something that's pretty cool. Actually, it's not bad. It's one way to kind of spruce up that whole Fireball that you've got laying around, and you've moved beyond it because you've been listening to our podcast and you're just too fancy for the old Fireball. But here's a way to use it up. Anyway, that's what I'm drinking, Bob. The Bailey Sour.
That's a tasty cocktail. What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Gen Zers, I was just going to say, Fireball whiskey is a millennial drink, so don't drink it. Gen Xers and boomers, you already know that. But otherwise, yeah, so put it into a cocktail, mix it with a bunch of other things, because no. Just no. Anyway, Bob, what am I drinking? I'm drinking a rusty banana. I told you at the beginning of the show. Don't look at me like that. All right, fine. Here's what's in a rusty banana. A rusty banana has a bunch of dead soldiers in it. Okay, they were dead soldiers to me. They were wounded soldiers. Sorry, now they're dead soldiers. They were wounded soldiers, now they're dead. What are the wounded soldiers? Well, first of all, there was 1 ounce of Stiggins Fancy Pineapple Rum, made by Plantaray. Then there was 1 ounce of rye whiskey. That one wasn't wounded, but I didn't have enough of Stiggins. Anyway, and then 1 ounce of banana liqueur. You put all of that into a mixing glass with ice, you stir that until it's well chilled, and then you strain that into a rocks glass with fresh ice, and then you garnish it with, a banana peel or something. Probably something more appropriate than a banana peel. And that's how you make a rusty banana, and that's what I'm drinking, Bob.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It's actually really good. I enjoyed it. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on Monday after the Angels series. If you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to follow us on social media. You can find us in most places by our username, Giant Cocktails, including Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. You might even be able to find us in some other places. But you can definitely find us on YouTube. So run over there to like, subscribe, and comment. But most importantly, be sure to leave us a positive review. And it's only positive if it's 5 stars. At your podcasting platform of choice, aka Apple Podcasts or Brotherly Loveify. Also, if you leave us a 1-star review, we can work with that. Just don't leave us a 3-star review. Matthew, it was great talking about the Philadelphia series with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye!
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
Oh, wow. You okay now? Did you run out of breath?
Yeah, man, my rusty banana. I think I need a tetanus shot.
Hit you strong there at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did. It's just, wow. It just boom. Just boom.
Folks, drink with caution. Get your tetanus shot.
Get your tetanus shot before you drink the rusty banana.